Hi, everybody. It's Helen McConnell here, and I just came in from a brisk walk on a brisk day. It's the end of January, and it's chilly here today in Portland, but it's sunny, it's beautiful, and it reminded me of something. So I wanted to come in and record this before I forgot about it, because this is something that's been really powerful. Let me take this mask off. Many years ago, when I had first started to tap, I remember being out on my bike one day on a day that wasn't the middle of summer, and it wasn't exactly the middle of winter, or it was on a day where the shadows were a little bit longer. Can't remember when it was, but it struck me that day on my bike. I rode through a flash of light, nothing unusual, just a beam of sunlight, and there was something about the angle of the light in that moment, and something got activated, some old memory. I don't even know. I didn't know then what it was, but I could tell that it was an old memory that got activated. And because I tapped so much, I felt like I sort of automatically tapped on it and released it. But it got me thinking that, let's just say it happened on February 4th, whatever the date was, doesn't really matter. Pick a date. And because of the angle of the light, I realized in that moment that there were lots of annual events that most of us don't remember. We don't remember that, that time when you were a kid and you fell off your bike, and that you had to go to the emergency room, that it was on February 4th. We don't really need to know the date, but the light, the subtle and not so subtle shifts that happen throughout the year can really affect our memories, and they can activate old memories that are stored in our body. And I just heard Greg Braden talking about this, that we call them memories stored in our body, but they're actually neural peptides that get stored in the body. Whatever it is, we want them out of our body, because then we can be free and loose and not stiff and not in a disease state. So that got me thinking, and I've used this a lot with clients, and it doesn't have to be the exact day, but let me give you an example of annual events or repeating annual events or whatever. I was working with a woman talking about grief, and I said to her, as she talked about this grief she was experiencing, she didn't know why she was experiencing it. And I said, is there any anger in the grief that you're feeling? And she said, oh yeah, there's some anger there. And I said, how long have you been feeling this way? How far back does this memory go? And she said, oh, it was my first husband, something she was mad about. And I said, okay, well, what was happening in your life on this day back then when your husband was around? And she goes, oh my God. She goes, September 11th, 2001 happened. And that she had some memories around that, some resentful memories, because her then husband had gone out of town on business. And here she was, and they had just moved to Portland. And here she was sort of stuck here by herself with nobody to talk to and nobody to communicate with. And back then, even in 2001, we didn't all carry cell phones. And he couldn't get home. And she was mad at him. So we did some tapping about that and some other things that came up around it. But it came up again because it was September 10th or 12th or 11th, whatever, of that year that we were doing this session. And this is what I want you to recognize, that you don't have to know what the event was, but when you're doing tapping, if you're not getting the results you want, I encourage you to try tapping something like this. You can say, even though I'm feeling activated and I don't know what's causing it, I love and accept myself, and I allow my body to release any old emotions relating to this activation. Activate is another word for triggered. Okay. And you can do that 3 times. You can say other things, but I would say just tap around and say, I'm feeling activated. So it's something that's not brand new on the side of the eye. I'm not sure how far back it goes under the eye, and I'm ready to be free. I want you to really breathe and feel down your spine as you do this, down the back, your back, down your full spine, down to the base of your spine. And you say, I give my body permission on the chin to release any emotions and chemicals, collarbone, related to this activation. My body can metabolize this emotion now. Okay, something like that. Just take a deep breath. And, you know, we're so programmed to try to figure everything out. Where did this come from? Who can I blame? What was the activation? I get it. I like to find those things too. But we don't need to know that stuff if we just really want to just get free. In fact, part of me thinks that it's better if we don't know that stuff and we just get free. Okay, so I'll be doing a couple videos about emotions and neuropeptides stored in the body and what effect they can have. But in the meantime, I hope this little idea for tapping on things that you can't find the root cause of, I hope this is helpful. Thanks for watching. Go ahead and subscribe and ring the bell for notification, and be well.